Former Prime Ministers, members of the House of Lords, and even members of the royal family have visited the University of Buckingham. But all of those could pale in comparison to one of the most influential figures in American politics, Congressman Mike Rogers. After 4 years in the United States Army and later working as a special agent in the FBI, Mike Rogers was first elected to the Michigan State Senate in 1994. From there, he was elected to the United States House of Representatives in 2000. He is now chairman of America's Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and has supervised several important acts and proposals through Congress and the Senate. The congressman visited the university accompanied by several luminaries of the Republican Party at the end of a national visit. He gave a lecture on the challenges of maintaining America's security and intelligence capabilities in an electronic age. To paraphrase Donald Rumsfeld, how many known unknowns are you dealing with at the moment?
Well, the threat matrix is something that we would determine through our intelligence services in conjunction with British intelligence services is very complex, and the matrix is getting more complex, meaning there are more avenues for threat now than I've ever seen in a very long time. Given this new rise in problem in ISIL that we've seen happen in Canada, in fact just today there was an attack in New York City on a police officer we believe is related. The problems here, the problems in Australia, this is a real and growing problem, and it's growing quickly.
Is Snowden a traitor, and what should happen to him?
Well, anytime that you take an oath to protect the secrets and engage in the defense of the United States and you steal those secrets, by the way, 95% of what he stole was related to military, tactical, and strategic information. I believe that only qualifies you for a traitor. There was other avenues for the NSA contractor to come to Congress, to come to the Inspector General, to come to DOJ. They have avenues for people who I have some concerns. He used none of them, stole a lot, and now he's in the hands of the FSB in Moscow. I don't think that makes him anything less than a traitor.
In 2011, Congressman Rogers introduced the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, CISPA. The bill would allow for the sharing of internet data between the US government and technology and manufacturing companies. It was criticized by advocates of internet privacy and civil liberties. The US Senate rejected it, and the White House said President Obama would veto the act. Is CISPA dead in the water?
No, it's not, and this is a bill that does something very simple. It allows the government to share zeros and ones in real time, machine to machine, threat, malicious source code. And it allows, in America, 85% of our networks are private sector networks. It allows them to share in real time, machine to machine, zeros and ones that configure malicious source code. So it's not dead yet. It's passed in a bipartisan way in the House, not once but twice. And now is in the Senate. We have a short window to get it passed. It's more difficult now because we're at the end of our congressional session, but not impossible.
You've said that the US is less safe than at any point since 9/11. Why?
Because the new, again, level of these threats. So you have this ISIL organization who is now using very sophisticated propaganda material to promote jihadism in our home country, in the United States. It also goes for Great Britain, Canada, Australia as well. And so the number of threats we track 21 different Al-Qaeda affiliates around the world. They've all at least expressed an interest in attacking the United States and Great Britain. Some have the aspiration to do it, not the capability, but some have both. And because of that level of threat and threat reporting, I'm very, very concerned about us being able to stop all of it. They only have to have one lucky moment. We have to be good 365 days a year, and that's a difficult challenge for our intelligence services.
You've said that we need a plan to defeat ISIS. What's the plan?
Well, hopefully we can close the gap between Great Britain and the United States. There's a bit of a one here. We're going to need, I think, special forces on the ground. Really no other way to do this that help leverage up the capabilities of the Peshmerga, the Iraqi forces that are left, any of the rebels that we can coalesce to train. So we're going to need that, and then a coordinated airstrike capability. We're going to have to go into Syria. Their capital, by their own proclamation, is Raqqa, which is in eastern Syria. That's where their logistics come from. It's hard to defeat them if you're fighting only one end of where they're attacking.
How does your experience in the FBI help shape your worldview of dealing with groups like ISIS?
Well, it certainly helps. So I've served as a military officer. I've also served as a special agent with the FBI. It puts context in how we defeat both organized crime organizations and terror organizations, and believe it or not, there's a lot of similarities. So it does shape my worldview and how we ought to approach putting a stop to it and keeping our country safe.
Thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks. Pleasure's mine.
Congressman Rogers' visit highlights the importance of security and intelligence in the modern era, and that even with rising public controversy, all nations must strive to defend themselves against terrorism, whether homegrown or abroad. This is Charlie Williams for Buckingham News.